Welcome everyone to today's video. Today I want to talk about dealing with limitation that obviously comes with battling any kind of health condition. Specifically, the community that I'm within is POIS, post-orgasm illness syndrome. And so I kind of want to do a video on dealing with the limitations of it, because it's obviously a very shit thing. And apart from obviously reversing your condition, healing your condition, improving your symptoms, there are a few things you can do in the meantime that I feel like will help you. So I kind of just want to do a video on that. And let's get stuck into it. So by far the most important thing when it comes to dealing with any kind of crisis and issue in your life is taking extreme ownership, because at the end of the day, no one's going to come save you. It's your life. You've got to take your health into your own hands, and rather than being a victim and, complaining about the healthcare system, complaining about all the things that have kind of gone wrong to get you to where you've ended up, none of that stuff is going to help you. You've just got to take extreme ownership, accept the situation as it is. It is what it is. It's shit. And it's kind of like this attitude. It's a bit of tough love, really, because it sounds like I'm being, cold-hearted, but it's the truth. The truth of the matter is that you're sick. Life is shit. And we've got to work towards finding a solution. And the attitude that's going to help you get to that solution is one of extreme ownership. It's your responsibility to fix this, find solutions, and ultimately improve your life. You've got to be the one that puts one foot in front of the other and work towards a fix for yourself. Whether that's, researching, trying out 1,000 different supplements. If you don't have the money for that, you got to go get a job that pays enough money to buy those supplements. So yeah, the attitude of extreme ownership, I found to be extremely useful in my own journey, which I talk about in my 6-year journey video, battling POIS. The one book I would recommend for this is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I listened to that early on in my journey, and I feel like that mindset shift really helped me to kind of, almost be like a fucking Navy SEAL, in the sense that I'm going through something incredibly difficult in my life, and I've just got to, toughen up and rise above and really, not complain, not whinge, and just pursue a solution and a fix. It is what it is, that sort of mentality. So my second point here is quite paradoxical, because at the same time, while you're doing extreme ownership, you've also got to realize that you only have so much control, and you can't stress too much about, finding a solution, which, of course, in reality, when you're that sick, you've kind of got no choice but to be stressed about finding a solution. Let's be honest, So, but do what you absolutely can to improve, but don't get unnecessarily stressed. Try to kind of relax throughout this process. And again, I know when you're that sick, it's pretty hard to relax, isn't it? But yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that in there. Which really ties into the locus of control. Focus only on the things that you can control. Combine that with the extreme ownership. At the end of the day, you can't really control much. You can control your effort you put into finding a solution, testing out different supplements, but ultimately, you're not really in control of what is going to work for you or not. Radical honesty with others. So I found that, opening up to my parents, but anyone in general, was really effective for me. So just being honest about what you're experiencing, honest about how severe your symptoms are, finding someone to confide in, and really just saying, hey man, like, I'm actually kind of struggling right now. with a health condition, and it's really shit. And just being honest, just finding someone to confide in, whether it's your parents, siblings, a good mate, even a therapist. Find a therapist that you resonate with, I think can genuinely be very helpful for you, because what this does is it takes the ego you're trying to carry around off your back. You can relax now that you've kind of spilt the beans, so to speak, on your life situation and the thing that you're probably kind of hiding from, because it can be quite embarrassing. It can be kind of shit that you're going through such a tough time. But I find that just being with the truth of it, vocalizing the truth, it is the truth. It is what it is. You are experiencing it, and you didn't choose this, but you are experiencing it. Reality just kind of served it up for you. So yeah, I found the whole radical honesty stuff to be very therapeutic. So mentoring yourself through the tough times. Become your own best friend. So I found that at my lowest times, I kind of had no choice but to mentor yourself. You're your own best friend. You're the one that's always with yourself, and you're the one that's experiencing all of this. And so I just found it useful, to just go on a walk and really just kind of confide in my own self and just be like, this is fucked. It's shit, but it is what it is. And there's not much I can do about it, but just keep working towards a solution. And some of what I would do actually is I would, like all of this stuff that I'm kind of saying, I would kind of list out I would kind of call it a strategy. So what I would do is I would open up a Word document on my computer, and I would kind of write down the strategy for how I am like attacking this whole chaotic situation. So I would talk about, just in a very simple dot point form, lay out the sheet however you authentically want to. But for me, I would kind of approach it from this strategic point of view, and I would write down things like, all right, stoicism, extreme ownership, feeling meditation. I would write, because these were all the tools I was using to kind of circumnavigate the storm, you could kind of say. So I found that to be really helpful, just kind of having a strategy with this and listing it out on an A4 piece of paper, print it out, and just put it in your wallet. Take it everywhere you go, so that you feel grounded in some kind of strategy for how you're going about dealing with this, because it can be really fucking nasty, especially like the social anxiety symptoms. If you experience that, with poise, which is very common. Any kind of severe experience you're having in life, like a shitty emotional experience or whatever, you need a strategy for it. And carrying around this paper with your strategy on it kind of grounds you. It gives you a ground to kind of work from, a place of security and comfort. And it's, in a way, it's something I still do to this day, for different reasons. I'm not struggling as much nowadays, but I still find it helpful to carry around literally a paper of, I've got my goals on it, my vision, my values, tools and techniques that work for me. I carry it around everywhere, and whenever I'm, going on a walk, I'll bring it out and I'll just read it to myself and really just reground. And so that's one of the things I found to be extremely helpful on my own journey. So this next point is, it's going to sound difficult to do, but embracing your authentic self fully, both your highs, which are your strengths, your gifts, and your lows, which is obviously, in this case, if we're talking about poise, your condition, any sort of mental health stuff. I've found that, although I would argue, yes, you do need to kind of reverse your symptoms to some degree. Let's be honest. Like it's impossible to embrace your low when it's that fucked. Let's be honest. That's just the truth of it. When your condition is so bad, a health condition, a mental health condition, whatever, at that point, it's impossible to embrace your low when it's that fucking low, when it's the thing that, gives you zero ability to communicate with others, or it's affecting your life in such a hardcore negative way, how the fuck are you going to embrace it? But nonetheless, I list it as a point. I think we should try to integrate both of these into your life purpose and your character. And so like one of the things I'm kind of doing with this video is, well, with this channel is, yeah, I'm talking about kind of my dark side, talking about my struggles with this condition and all the shitty stuff that has to do with me, you know. And so I'm kind of integrating that and kind of embracing that. It is what it is. It's who I am, and accepting that, you know. But I will say it's much easier to accept it when I've reversed a lot of my symptoms. So my condition, my lows are not really that low anymore, you know. So I understand that can be a very difficult thing to do, but I wanted to include it in here anyway. You know, like I've heard some people, what they do is when they have like a severe health condition, they try to find like, you know, that there could be certain strengths that you have stemming from the situation that you're in. So here's a thing that I feel like can definitely help, regardless of how severe your symptoms are. Get into reading autobiographies of interesting and successful people. I feel like this is so underrated. Whenever I read an autobiography or a memoir of someone who's successful, but they're also a bit weird, or they've had like a lot of struggle in their life, whether it's like a physical or a mental health condition. And let's be honest, like we all fucking struggle. Any successful person you see, they've struggled. It's just whether or not they've opened up about it, or you know, you've read their memoir, autobiography, or whatever. But so I've found reading, autobiographies to be really very liberating. Yeah, it makes you realize that you're not the only person in the world who's fucked up. You know, so, and let's be honest, we're all human, and we're all fucked up to various degrees, you know. And a lot of the times I find myself being overly perfectionistic about, you know, not being fucked up and being perfect, and wanting a perfect mood all the time, and always wanting to be on top of my shit. You know, and so reading these autobiographies I found to be just very, very liberating and very comforting. You know, knowing that people who are very successful in the world, musicians, artists, businessmen, they've all had their struggle, you know. And this kind of severe condition that you're dealing with, you know, and if you're watching this video, I'm probably assuming you're experiencing some kind of poise. But also any condition in general, any health condition, severe limitation that's affecting your life, this is kind of just what God has served you up. You know, reality has served you up. And so your challenge is to figure this out and really try to make lemonade with lemons, you know, to really turn this whole ordeal into something beautiful, you know. So guys, they're probably the main points I have. If you have any more ideas in this topic, leave a comment below about any things that have helped you deal with the shittiness that a condition like this presents. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Like the video if you found it useful. Consider subscribing if you want to watch more videos from me. And guys, I will see you in the next video.